All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. A lot of stuff going on today. Bitcoin sitting under 80,000. It's at about 78K right now. Gold all the way down to 4,800. It has rebounded a little bit this morning, though. If you look at gold right here on the left side of the screen, you can see gold has popped back a little bit this morning. So maybe some optimism. But yeah, gold and silver kind of crashing over the last few days here. But gold since about 2 a.m. this morning, it was down to 4,400. It was really looking rough, but it has come back a little bit today. Same thing with silver. Silver was at about $71 an ounce. It's now at $83 an ounce. So a lot of stuff has bounced back, but things are still pretty red. I would call the market risk off right now. NASDAQ is down. S&P is down. Dow is down. Gold and silver are down. And more. So yeah, I would describe this as risk off. We can see the NASDAQ sitting roughly around 25.5s right here. Another thing I see running right now that I'm actually in that I'm glad to see is Oracle. Oracle running back up this morning. Hey, what's up? Good morning, Plasma, Ace, Halo, C-Man, Sam, BA, Womble, E, Mark, everybody else, Brian, Bad, On, Steve, everybody else. What's up, guys? Good morning. Hope you guys had a good weekend. So Disney did release earnings not that long ago. So Disney did drop earnings. They posted, what did they show up as? Disney posted 163 adjusted EPS. They expected 157. Revenue of 26 billion. They expected 25.7 billion. So it beat an EPS and revenue. I also see the Disney CFO say they have a lot of momentum right now with broad-based revenue growth in the conference call. But yeah, Oracle bouncing back. Again, we're watching gold heavily today. Of course, silver, Bitcoin, the NASDAQ. The SPY is here in the bottom middle. Again, a lot of stuff basically opened up pretty red and started to bounce back though this morning. We'll see what happens though. Yeah, we'll see if this red action continues today. But yeah, it's been brutal for crypto, gold, silver. Been absolutely brutal. We'll see if this scary last week continues here, because honestly it's been kind of scary. It really has. But yeah, basically to summarize things, again, NASDAQ, Bitcoin, ETH, broader crypto is under pressure. A lot of large cap tokens are down 5% or more in a single session. There's a lot of liquidations as well. Again, risk off is the easiest way to describe it. Gold has dropped over 17% in a matter of days from its recent record. You know, gold has bounced back a little bit this morning, though. So is silver. They were down almost 5%. They're back up a little bit. They're still red, but they basically filled some of the gap. The government is also partially shut down right now. We should be back up and running. I think they're going to get a House approval vote sometime today. Probably be back up and running. The question is, do we get the JOLTS report tomorrow? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, so what made markets panic, part of the reason is Warsh. Warsh is seen as a little bit more hawkish Fed chair option. So them announcing Warsh as Fed chairman, markets see it as more hawkish, more protective of Fed independence than feared and stimulative. Warsh is perceived as tougher on inflation as well, and less inclined to super ease. So it boosts the dollar, undercuts the debasement and, narrative that we've seen drive gold and silver prices higher. Gold and silver obviously have made some crazy runs over the past months. Crazy runs. Gold roughly doubled in a year. Silver up well over 100% prior to this. And so maybe some leveraging there. And yeah, it's been wild. Metals, will metals bounce back? Let's do a poll here. Will gold and silver bounce back today? Yes or no? Vote on the poll. Will gold and silver bounce back today? Let me know. But yeah, they're down. I'm watching 5,000. In the NASDAQ, I'm also watching 25.5. 25.5 seems like a reasonable level to pay attention to. Here's 25.5 right here. We're slightly over that now, but I am watching 25.5. Yeah, but it might take a couple days. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, they're down a lot. They're also up a lot, though. I mean, look, if we look at the broader gold move here, we put up like a daily chart for gold. You can kind of see what we're in right now. Here's gold. Here's 2025 starts right here. So just this year, you can see here's the year of 2025. Wild move. And then we've had a retracement. And now we're back up to roughly right here for gold. This is a daily chart. So again, you can kind of see big, wild, steep move this year or last year. Big pullback over the last few days. And now we have filled, what, like a third of that pullback. Also, again, we do have like breaking news about Oracle right now. So Oracle is ripping up. Fitch rating is assigned Oracle Corp. Proposed benchmark size, unsecured bonds, a BBB rating. They'll use net proceeds for general corporate purchases, which may include CapEx. But yeah, so Oracle's senior notes offering BBB and affirms IDR with outlook stable. They said the rating outlook is stable. Oracle expects to raise 45 to 50 billion in cash through the new notes and equity issuances. And Oracle ripping up. I don't know if it's this news causing Oracle to push up. We also had the U.S. president launching a 12 billion mineral stockpile to counter China, according to Bloomberg News. And so you see some rare earth companies like USAR go higher on this news that just came out about the president launching a 12 billion mineral stockpile to counter China. You can see USAR and some other symbols related to that still pushing higher here. Again, let's look at silver. Silver's made some crazy moves too. And again, here's 2025 for silver. 2025 started right here for silver. It went from basically like $30 an ounce all the way to 120. Pulled all the way back down to 70 basically. And now it's back up to 83s, 84s right now for silver. Silver's almost green on the day. It's still down big over the last few days, but silver and gold getting a little bit of a bounce back. And then Bitcoin is starting to creep back up as well. So yeah, it's kind of been some wild swings here for a lot of this stuff. It says for silver on Friday, almost simultaneously, COMEX increased silver margin calls. London Metals Exchange closed early. All retail leverage longs got liquidated. And then JP Morgan and Chase closed their short silver positions at exactly the market bottom. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of market manipulation going on there, to be honest. Yeah, I'm sure that's what we're seeing. Again, gold futures, I think just went positive. Let's see. Not quite for me here. Gold futures. Depends on how. Okay, wait. Let's see. This is the previous closing price from last. So Monday started. Let's see exactly the price. Monday started right here. Yeah. I mean, it depends on where you look at it, but Monday started right here at 4,600. We'll call it. Yeah, we're at 4,800. So again, technically, gold futures are positive here. If we look at silver. Look at the same thing. Silver's definitely positive on the day. Silver market on the day closed at about 76.50. We're at 83s. So gold and silver technically green on the day. Although, again, red, if you look at the last few days, they're definitely red. Looking at our poll, I asked people, will gold and silver bounce back today? 54% say yes, 47% say no. But again, the U.S. President Trump is launching a 12 billion strategic mineral stockpile. It's making mineral stocks run this morning. Again, gold and silver post massive reversals, erased most of their losses on the day. There's also a little bit more stability in the Middle East. And so if we take a look at oil, oil's down a little bit on the day because they did have a little bit more stability there, I'm showing. EU Commission spokesperson says on Iran, says we are urging all parties to abide by international law, show restraint, and refrain from taking action which could lead to a new escalation in the Middle East. Again, Oracle shares are up after Fitch affirms at BBB rating. We also had Tyson Food and some other companies come out with numbers this morning. Oracle is filing to sell 100 million depository shares. I'm in Oracle right now too. And so Oracle is one of those stocks that's running right now. I am in Oracle. So you'd love to see it. Gold and silver going to keep going up as long as economy and earnings. Yeah. And then again, we got earnings season starting this week again. We have, I believe, Palantir this evening. PayPal and more tomorrow. AMD and Supermicro tomorrow evening. Google Wednesday evening. Amazon Thursday evening. And more. And so we got a bunch of earnings this week too. Yeah, it's an interesting day, guys. What are you guys interested in trading today? Look at Oracle. Yeah, what are you guys interested in trading today? I think there's interesting moves. There's volatility on all sides here. I'm curious to see where's the VIX at right now. VIX is sitting almost at $20 this morning when it first woke up. Since a lot of things have settled back down, the VIX is falling back down too. But the VIX is at 1830s right now. If we take a look at yields this morning as well here, yields are at 4.23% roughly right now, 4.236%. Treasuries, a little bit lower than where they opened up Friday. But yeah, yields are down slightly. And again, this week, as long as the government resumes soon and the shutdown is not long, we should get the economic data that we're planning on this week. So as long as the government shutdown is short, then we should be okay. Yeah, so the House Rules Committee is set to meet this afternoon to discuss setting up a floor vote on the government funding package. Government is currently partially shut down after senators advanced the bill without DHS funding. It's expected to be brief. Bro, why wouldn't they vote on the bill today? Like, bro, get the deal done. You're trading oil. Is today Groundhog Day? That's a great movie. I love Groundhog Day, the movie. I try to get my family to watch it, but they don't appreciate good movies. You know, Bill Murray. You gotta love Groundhog Day. The entire market is manipulated. Well, of course it is. I always try to explain people this, right? Listen, people get mad at big money for manipulating things, but that's the whole point of having big money, is so you can. You know, like, you're trying to tell me you wouldn't if you could? Of course you would. You know, like, listen, big money influences things. That's how it goes in markets, you know? And so this is something that you see pretty consistently. Like, big money is going to influence things, right? In crypto and gold and silver, banks are going to influence things. Companies are going to influence things when they can. Like, look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett can literally say, hey, I like this stock, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then, in turn, that stock rises 10% or more. Right? Like, this is something that is incredibly obvious, is that big money can influence things. And to a point, that's the point. You know? How many times are they going to shut down the government? Well, they should get the whole year deal done today or tomorrow. I don't know why they're not voting on it today. Again, I don't know why they're not voting on it today. It's Monday. You know, the House should, if the Senate and the President have already agreed to it, I would assume they're going to toe that line and agree to it as well. So why not just get the vote done today? I mean, obviously that might risk them not getting the votes they need, but still, get it done. All right, guys. Again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. Are we going to have a green day today after all this craziness here? I will be trading some. I'm looking to find something good to trade. Any stocks that look cheap right now? I might buy up some stocks too. I have no problem buying up some stocks. Yeah, I have no issue buying up stocks right now. If you guys see any, let me know. I'm looking for some things here. Oracle's doing me right this morning, which is good. I'm in Oracle right now. What else am I in that's been down? I'm in Oracle. Netflix has been down. I want to buy more Netflix. I don't know. I'm really not down that much in Netflix. Tesla, where's Tesla at after earnings? Yeah, Tesla at 420s. Gold and silver. Still pretty interesting here. All right, guys. So Tesla up to 423.60s here. I think if gold and silver are not up today, stocks will go. I'm gonna pay attorney to come paint your cabinets green so we can be more bullish. Hey, listen, maybe that'll help. Palantir earnings today. Yeah, if we look at Palantir here. Palantir up a decent amount as well with everything else. Palantir is one of the one tech stocks that are actually green on the day. It's up to almost 150s here. And the question is it leading into its earnings report this evening? Palantir releases their quarterly earnings after the closing bell today. Anyone see the news about? Yeah, you can join our Discord. It's right there. We don't push it too much. I bought SoFi. I'm in SoFi as well. SoFi's red on the day, though. But I'm in SoFi. Is it time to buy SoFi as well? A lot of stuff's down. A lot of tech stocks are correcting some here. Spot Palladium is last up over 2% to $1,746 an ounce. Again, gold. Technically green on the day as well here. What's gold? Gold GC. Gold up to $4,800 an ounce. Again, in mineral stocks up after the president said he's launching a 12 billion strategic mineral stockpile. Oracle is up after Oracle files to sell 100 million depository shares and gets rated a triple B with a firmed outlook and outlook stable here. Oracle up to 170s right now. Down 8% on Palantir. I'm ready for earnings. If Palantir smashes earnings, we'll move back to the 200 this week. The mic is green. Oh, hey. Yeah, Palantir. It's the biggest stock. It's one of the biggest catalysts of the day. I'm not going to say it's the largest. I don't know what's coming, but... And again, a lot of stuff is down because of Warsh. Do you guys think Warsh is going to be hawkish or dovish? Let me know in chat, because I think that's the big thing that kind of sparked a lot of these worries here in gold and silver. A lot of people worry that Warsh is going to be hawkish, and that is what sparked a lot of this last week. Again, Donald Trump nominated Kevin Warsh, which is a much more hawkish pick than some people preferred as the next Fed chair. Warsh is perceived as tougher on inflation, and so less inclined to super ease and boost gold and silver. You know, if he's less inclined to super ease, it boosts the dollar and undercuts the debasement easy money narrative. And gold and silver have gone crazy for the last year. Gold recently dipped under 4,800, now 47.99 in futures at least. And we're still watching Oracle. But yeah. Yeah, one of the things that you see in crypto is that a lot of the time big crypto moves happen when other conventional markets are closed. So over the weekend, you look at Bitcoin. starting on Saturdays when a lot of this big move started. Friday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Big tumbles. You know, Jim Cramer even announced that he's bullish on, or he thought Bitcoin might rise. I don't know if that's a good thing though. But yeah, we did have Disney earnings this morning. Disney is up. I'm in Disney as well, but it's not really up a lot. No, I'm not on Telegram. Telegram's for scammers, mostly. So you think he's going to be dovish, but market should price it in. That's better than killing the U.S. economy by reckless decisions. Warsh will betray Trump and keep interest rates high. Small cap rally. Again, the Kuwait oil minister says oil prices are acceptable given current circumstances. Jim Cramer calls the crypto crash. Inverse Cramer. Yeah, Telegram. I'm not saying some people don't have useful telegrams, but a lot of guys are just scamming on Telegram. They're pretending to be other people. They're trying to talk people into joining their Telegram. And then they're pretending to be investment professionals, and they're promising the world. They're telling them, hey, you can make 50% if you go through me. And then people that don't really understand markets just buy it up. They want to believe. And so they end up sending these scammers their crypto, and then they just never get it back. You know, sometimes they'll talk them into giving them more too. It's unfortunate, but yeah, Telegram's full of that stuff, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, Warsh is kind of mixed. I see somebody saying, after listening to I'm assuming you mean Warsh. Somebody said after listening to Warsh, he is 100% against crypto. Could that affect crypto long term? Okay, Moody's affirms Oracle's Baa2 rating on equity announcement, and outlook remains negative according to Moody's here. Wonder if this is going to help or hurt Oracle. But yeah, Warsh has called a lot of cryptocurrencies software pretending to be money, fraudulent, or worthless. Specifically in 2022 in an op-ed he did. He's been critical of a lot of private crypto projects and stablecoins as well. But he's argued that the Fed should favor a CBDC and tighter oversight rather than letting a bunch of unregulated private tokens function as money. It sounds anti-crypto, and I get it. But he did describe Bitcoin specifically as your new gold, quote unquote, your new gold for under 40s, a watchdog for policy, and the newest and coolest software. So his stance is more hostile to most crypto, tolerant to Bitcoin, is really what it is for Warsh, the new FOMC chairman. Warsh is known as hawkish on QE and wants smaller balance sheets. So he's not 100% against it, but he might be skeptical, you know. Oh, Warsh is 55. Oh, he's 55. I thought he was... Yeah, okay. Now I like him. Warsh reducing the balance sheet will hurt crypto. Yeah, I mean, crypto wants easy, right? So crypto, Bitcoin, they want low interest rates. They want money printing because, you know, that's seen as stimulative. We'll see. We'll see. So the Iran negotiations are not focused on enriched nuclear transfer, apparently. But yeah, Bitcoin and crypto wants easing. Oracle's still popping up here, though, guys. Again, I'm in Oracle right now. I think 2026 will be the year everyone knows about crypto. I mean, I think everybody already knows about crypto, though, brother. Warsh becoming Fed chairman will mark the top. Hey, maybe. Sub daily. Bad Ace. Dragos. He looks 25. I don't know if he looks 25. Some of his old pictures do. I don't know. But no offense to Warsh. But that ain't looking really 25 to me. We'll see Bitcoin to get back up to 77s here. You know, Bitcoin, let's see how low it got. Bitcoin hit lows 75K on Saturday. And then again this morning it hit lows of 74.5s for Bitcoin. Gold and silver have rebounded though. Oracle up big, which is good. Yeah, that's a rough 25. That's right. Yeah. Market is a joke. Drops 10 points on the SPY last night. It's almost brought up already in pre-market. I'm out till something special comes along. Irrational smells of crash. How is it that you ignore the news? What news am I ignoring? I'm covering all the real news. Moody's affirms Oracle's Baa2 rating. You know, we had Tyson Food earnings. President launching stockpile of minerals. Counter China. We do have a White House meeting with crypto and bank execs. I think it's at like 1 o'clock Eastern. Also, the China Premier Li is urging the active use of AI, according to state media. Also, tomorrow, a ton of crypto companies are at Wall Street. SpaceX is talking about IPOing as well. Over in gold. Yeah, Kelly, I can't really understand what you're saying here. You know? Anybody know why I'm not sure. Happy Palantir earnings day. Oil back up a little bit after, I think we have more stability news in Iran. You can kind of see oil with potentially less scarcity worries. Oil coming down per barrel. More about the decentralized storing value proposition than full replacement of the dollar. Look at Oracle. Yeah, you just seem kind of emotional, Kelly. It's okay. Whatever you're upset about randomly in the morning, listen, live your life. Yeah, I'm in Coca-Cola as well. We're up to $75 a share in Coca-Cola. My average price is $66 here. We're in that. It could be a midterm, long-term back. Yeah, I'm in KO. It pays a good dividend as well. You know? Yeah, I mean, look, Kelly just seems emotional. They're trying to bring up the files like I'm supposed to talk about it. Like, dude, there's no way you're all gonna get me to talk about that. It's too controversial. Like, dude, I run a stock market news stream. Of course I'm not gonna go super deep into there and risk getting demonetized for some dumb stuff like that. Like, of course I'm not going to, you know. Go watch political news if you want more info on that. Again, it just doesn't have anything to do with me. It's not really going to affect markets in any significant way. And like pushing me to talk about it and getting emotional and threatening to leave, like, come on, grow up, you know. Like, grow up. Like, You know what I mean? Schizophrenia? Maybe. I don't know, man. Like, don't be so desperate for attention. Like, move on. You know what I mean? Like, find something else to do. You know? Yeah, there's always going to be some bad apples, 100%. It's all love. It's all good. Anyways, silver up to $84 an ounce here. Up to $84 an ounce. Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Oh, it's cooking right now. Hey. Government is shut down. Yeah, government is partially shut down right now. So again, okay. This is basically what happened. They had a 6-part deal. The original one that was approved in the House included DHS funding, the Department of Homeland Security. Because of stuff that happened, the left wanted the DHS funding out of it. And so the House approved the first one. The Senate rejected it. Then the president and the Senate worked out a deal to remove DHS from that 6-part deal. It's now a 5-part deal, and then only extend the DHS funding for 2 weeks while they negotiate further on that aspect. But because the House was not back in session until today, the government is now currently partially shut down. At the same time, it's probably going to be very short. We do have mostly agreements, it looks like, from all of them. And so once the House resumes today, they're probably going to vote today or tomorrow. And then once they do, government will be back open probably tomorrow, is what I'm guessing. I don't know why they shouldn't just do the House votes today, but I guess like they're going to negotiate it in the House today, and my guess is get it approved tomorrow and get the votes done tomorrow, and the government's going to be back open tomorrow, is what I'm thinking here. Now, at the same time, here's some things to consider. Tomorrow we have JOLTS job openings. We do have economic jobs report data tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, I don't know. So the data for that release should already be compiled. So we should already have the data. It's not like the previous shutdown with some of these data releases where they didn't survey or they didn't get the data they needed because the government shut down. This data is already done. So the question is, do they release it tomorrow? I don't know. We have ISM manufacturing and services data coming out today as well. Yeah. You have too many viewers, always going to be some bad apples. Yeah. Yeah, look, guys, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I'm not going to get involved. It's just too political. Like, you know, you got people, I think a lot of people don't have much going on. Right? Like, they don't have a lot going on. And because they don't have a lot going on, they need to find meaning in their life. And so they just kind of latch onto a political thing. And they just, you know, and I'm just not really about, I got too much going on. I got kids, I got a wife, I got a family, I got business. I got a lot of other stuff going on. I'm just not going to get super involved in politics. Did I see the news that happened over the weekend? Sure. Am I going to go into it here? No. And again, you guys should understand that. It's all love here, guys. It's all love. Quantum is interesting. A lot of quantum stocks have pulled back heavily. Like we can look at Rigetti. We can look at we can look at Rigetti down to $18. You can take a look at a daily chart and see the big pullbacks that these have made. Again, it's very early in quantum. What do I mean by that? Quantum is essentially, if you hear the word quantum, a lot of you guys might hear it and not know what it means. Quantum is essentially computers process things in order. It seems simultaneous to us, but computers process things in order. Quantum are basically like these super specialized computers that have something called superposition. The simplified way to say they're really fragile, super expensive. But because they have what's called superposition, this basically enables them to process things simultaneously, right? Instead of having to process things in order, they can essentially process things simultaneously. And again, this is a really simplified way to put it. And so because of that, their ability to solve tasks and do things goes up exponentially in these computers, right? But it's still incredibly early. They're still full of errors. And a lot of quantum stocks have sprouted up over the last year, really, Rigetti is one, went up to $58 a share, is now at $18 a share. QBTS is another one, went up to almost 50 a share, it's now at 21s. And so a lot of these stocks are in the wake of big pullbacks here. And again, it's still very, very early, even if this is the next big technology, which again, it's way too early to tell that yet. It seems like it is, but this is always, it's always possible to change. But even if it is the next big technology, we're still incredibly early with these. And so short term, I have no idea what these are going to do. They're gone up huge amounts. I think big money that's more deeply involved in this stuff is going to see things and cut things and play these different moves a little bit more than I am right now, just because it's still really, really, really early. Why does our government even shut down when they can't agree? I mean, they're agreeing right now. At this point in time, the shutdown is more procedural. Again, it has to do with, like, they've agreed on a deal, but now we got to get, the Senate approved it. We got votes last week on Friday from the Senate that approved the deal. Now we just got to get House approval and then the signing of it, and then boom, the government's back open. But again, at this point, the delay is procedural. So we got to wait for the House to vote on it, and we're probably going to get that today, maybe tomorrow. I hope they do it today. But who knows? Yeah, SNDK SanDisk. Again, memory runs. This thing is up big, but look at the pullback on SanDisk. I mean, SanDisk is pulled back after its earnings report and filled a lot of the gaps. SanDisk jumped from their earnings report Thursday. SanDisk jumped all the way to 670s. Pulled all the way back to 580s. Is it time to buy SanDisk right now? I don't know. Yeah, I'm in Oracle right now. Oracle has flown up on a good rating here, and they are not stopping here. I'm in Oracle. I love to see this. I really do. And I'm in Oracle right now. I love to see it. Palantir reports after the closing bell. Yes, sir. Palantir after the close. We'll see what that looks like. Again, Disney posted earnings, and they are up a little bit, but not a lot. They've kind of corrected. They're basically flat on the day. Yeah, I'm in SoFi also. Do you still think Palantir is overvalued? I mean, what's the PE ratio of Palantir right now? It's like, what, 200? I mean, the question with Palantir, and I think this company's doing a lot. The question is, does it grow into its valuations? Does it grow into its PE ratio? Does it grow into... Does it grow into its price? Or I guess I should say, does its earnings grow into its price? We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, guys, we do have ISM Manufacturing PMI today. ISM Manufacturing. We also have Flash Manufacturing as well. We do have Palantir earnings. We have Google, Amazon earnings this week. I believe we have AMD earnings as well. So this morning we had Disney. This evening we have Palantir, NXP, Semiconductors, Teradyne. Wednesday we have PayPal and Pepsi tomorrow morning before the opening bell. We have AMD, Supermicro, Semiconductors tomorrow evening. We got Uber Wednesday morning, Google Wednesday evening, ARM Wednesday evening, QCOM Wednesday evening, Amazon Thursday evening, and more. So a lot of stuff dropping this week. Reddit drops on the 5th as well, which is Thursday. Roblox as well on the 5th. Again, Oracle is the big story of the day here. Look at Oracle. Oracle up to 175, dude. Hey, let this thing keep going. I'm supportive of it. I might take a little piece of this off now, actually. Little piece. Let's see. You know what? I'm taking that. That's fine. It just bounced back so fast. Might as well take a little piece off. PE ratio is 339. Is it really that high? Dude, the pullback on SNDK, I just saw. I haven't traded it, but look at the prime retest. Yeah. Yeah, it's made big moves. Yeah, let's see if it holds. What are the odds we get a massive correction in the S&P 500? I don't know what the odds are. I mean, what do you define as massive correction? You know, what do you define as a massive correction? Again, if we look at the odds of a rate cut here, still 15% chance we get a cut by next meeting. I don't think we're going to, just to clarify. I think we're probably going to pause unless we get weak data. We're supposed to have labor data. We're supposed to have payrolls Friday. So Friday we are supposed to get payrolls coming out. So we'll see what that data looks like if we get it on time because of the shutdown. So the shutdown's here. HBO confirmed Game of Thrones universe will continue. Yeah, I've been watching the Night of the Seven Kingdoms show. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. It's a little slow, but this last episode ended on a cool note. But yeah, I did hear about the local bank in Chicago failure. It was the first bank in 2026. And so I did hear about that. Specifically, FDIC confirmed Metro Capital Bank and Trust failed on January 30th. First Independence Bank assuming all deposits. It's the first U.S. bank failure of this year in 2026. So I did hear about that. We'll see if it sparks more, but you know, we gotta wait and see if it sparks more. Oracle kicks off an 8-part US dollar bond offering. Oracle at 175s hit almost 176 this morning. I'm green in Nike as well. My average price in Nike's 50s. That's 60s now. A lot of stuff went down, specifically Friday. Warsh. Kevin Warsh named the new Fed chairman. Now, a lot of people say this is just an excuse for it. But a lot of people say Warsh is too hawkish. Crypto didn't like Warsh as the pick. You know, essentially he's seen as less stimulative than other options. And what do I mean by less stimulative? The Federal Reserve, their job is to maintain balance, right? Obviously, you get people pushing for both things. You get some people pushing for interest rate cuts and low interest rate environment, which is more stimulative. Quantitative easing, money printing, more stimulative. And so, but there's a balancing act. On the other end of that, if inflation is too risky, if we're getting inflation spikes, the Federal Reserve has a duty to look out for controlling that as well. And so what we see a lot of the time is people pushing for one side. Crypto and Bitcoin want low interest rates. They want stimulus. They want easing. Why? Because it stimulates spending and buys of cryptocurrencies. It also causes inflation and devalues the dollar faster. But Warsh is seen as hawkish, meaning historically Warsh has focused on inflation. He hasn't liked quantitative easing as much. He has even said, you know, some things about Bitcoin and crypto that people don't like. as well. So Warsh is known as hawkish on quantitative easing. He wants a smaller Fed's balance sheet. And again, quantitative easing is creating online money and then using that online money. It's essentially money printing. And then using that online money to buy up bonds and other assets with it. But it causes inflation in a much more profound way, right? And so Warsh historically has been hawkish, critical of quantitative easing, wants smaller balance sheet. Because again, QE expands the Fed's balance sheet through asset purchases. Warsh has been hawkish of that. He hasn't liked it as much. It usually means tighter liquidity, less tailwind for crypto, speculative assets. And, yeah, Oracle, again, kicking off 8-part US dollar bond offering. Look at the NASDAQ tumble down here. Oh, let's see if we can figure out why. Look at the NASDAQ. Oh, I'm sorry, this is silver. Look at the silver. Look at the NASDAQ is doing. Silver tumbling back down again. Look at silver dropping. $81 an ounce here for silver. Silver is tumbling down. Gold is tumbling down right now. Seeing some reversals here on silver and gold. Again, MicroStrategy has bought 855 Bitcoin for 75.3 million at 87.9 per Bitcoin as of yesterday. Good gold and silver pull back here. SoFi pulling back. Again, gold and silver dipping down. Look at these drops. Yeah, Jim Cramer said, bond folks breathing relief, modest portion of the overall equity funding. Convertible preferred ATM equity up to 20 billion. Good sale of stock here. Yeah, Powell's most likely to remain on the board if Warsh does everything for the right reasons. Powell will back him. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, look at gold and silver correcting. Yeah, the NASDAQ's kind of correcting here too, though. Look at this. I'm trying to see why. See if we can figure out the stock. Apple down a little bit. Nvidia, AMD, MU. We're seeing some tech pullback. Meta, Alphabet's down. Nvidia's down a little bit. Microsoft. We're 2750s here. Yeah, here's the 200 exponential. We just cracked underneath it for silver. Silver's at $81 an ounce. And Oracle's the big stock move of the day here too. But Air India says that they're aware one of their pilots has reported a possible defect on the fuel control switch of Boeing 787. I haven't been to a Kmart in so long. Like on the dollar index. Again, a lot of this is because hawkish Warsh. Warsh just seen as tougher on inflation and less inclined to super ease, boosting the dollar, undercutting the debasement silver, gold price. Again, Alphabet pulling back a little bit right now. I don't see any news here though. We're getting speculation about Iran news. Hold on, let me see if I can cover this. Lawrence Norman of the Wall Street Journal says there's a lot of feverish speculation about Iran and U.S. talks. I'm certainly not ruling out that they will happen, but they aren't nailed down yet. What appears to be on the table. Talks about nuclear. All right, so here's a little rebound here in silver and gold after pulling back. Big drop this morning. Again, Oracle announced 8-parter, according to Bloomberg. Again, Michael Saylor buying 855 Bitcoin worth 75 million. Also, the Greenland Prime Minister says Washington still wants Greenland to be tied to and governed from the United States. The shutdown is still here. I mean, they have to vote to reopen the government in the House. Senate approved the deal. House has to approve it before the government is back open. So we're partially shut down as of now. Again, the House Rules Committee set to meet this afternoon to discuss setting up a floor vote on the government funding package. Again, they expect it to be brief, but we are technically partially shut down right now. All right, we're seeing some bounce back. Here's the NASDAQ here. Again, look at that 200 exponential on the NQ. We bounced directly off of it again here. Look at this level. And again, I talk about this level a lot because this level just freaking works. Look at this level. Again, where do we bounce here? Precisely at the 200 exponential. Like literally down to a T right off of it on a 1-minute chart. It's incredible how well that works. Bitcoin back to 40. Is this gonna get worse again? What a mess, not gonna lie. Yeah. All economic characteristics that were met that Powell claims justified his rate cuts are still occurring, but he's not cutting further. Well, you know, usually they cut rates and they wait. There's a lag. You know? There's a lag between cutting interest rates and the net effect on the economy. So it's not like cutting rates is going to give us immediate, outside of the bond market, it's not going to give us immediate, you know. Again, gold has been under pressure. U.S. has regained poise. Traders have cited articles over the weekend that suggest incoming Fed chief Warsh is hawkish on the Fed balance sheet. Others have suggested that his appointment helps to restore U.S. policy credibility amid some recent concerns on U.S. debasement due to U.S. government pressure on the Fed to pursue lower interest rates despite inflation above target and growth metrics running at a solid pace. Again, that 200 exponential level. Crypto will go parabolic. Leverage driven straight up, people are loosen out. Yeah, silver and gold bouncing back here. NASDAQ bouncing back as well. I almost want to buy this dip here. I might actually buy this dip. Let's try it. Buy this pullback. We just bought the micro NASDAQ here. Get a little pop back up there. There you go. That's good. Put off. Got an immediate bounce exactly where we bought it. Go. A little follow through. Cut it right there. Money. Yeah, SanDisk is an interesting one. I mean, again, with memory so high in value right now, SanDisk basically filled most of the gap from its earnings report. So again, SanDisk had earnings last week, went up to like 670s, 677 basically right here for SanDisk. Filled the entire gap back down right now. Is it time to buy SNDK stock? So we're going to end our poll. We're basically at 50-50 right now. What's another better poll option? Bitcoin. Bounce back. Over 80K. Over 85K this week. Yes or no? Does Bitcoin bounce back over 85K this week? Let me know what you guys think. Bitcoin currently at 78, 77s. Picked up some SNDK on the dip, earnings like that. Relief rally. Yeah, maybe. Look at our poll so far. 59%, 58% say yes, Bitcoin does break back over 85,000 this week. And Oracle went up substantially this morning. We took a little profit at the top, though. But now Oracle's back down to 170s, so. Or 172s. Hit 176 almost for Oracle. MicroStrategy, again, between January 26th to February 1st, they bought 855 Bitcoin for a total of 75 million. Again, the Greenland Prime Minister is speaking. He said Washington has rejected the possibility of military takeover, but the fundamental view on Greenland has not changed. Washington still wants Greenland to be tied to the United States and governed from there. If Oracle can push. We did take a little bit off at the top here, which is probably the best move based off of how much it's up today. You think gold will go back to what it was? I mean, gold will go back to what it was eventually. But gold was up over 100%. Silver is up well over 100% just in the last few months. And so eventually they will. I'm not sure when. Maybe soon, maybe later. But the fact that so many people here are bullish on Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It depends on how long you look at it. 125K this week for crypto. I would love that to happen. I'm skeptical though. You know, I want Bitcoin to go up, but I'm skeptical. I'm gonna hit 125K this week. We need some big news to push that. Yeah, let me know what price you think Bitcoin will close the week. I really don't know. All right, guys. So we're down to 475s right now. 475s. Where's that chef guy? He loved gold. 70K, 75K, more like 65K this week. I think Bitcoin breaks 70,000, 70K this week. You mean on the downside? 80K plus. Nasdaq's starting to fight back up. I'm watching 25.5s here. Like, I do want to look at 25,500 right here. I think this is an interesting level to watch. 25.5s. I think if we reject 25.5s makes sense. Big holdout on whole dollar number historical level here. Got 25 right here too. Yeah, there's 25.5s. Still rejecting. Again, a lot of tech earnings this week as well. No data today. We have ISM data today. Oh yeah, we have ISM data. So we got some, but it's not like a crazy day today. So we got some news that says Warsh move is unlikely to change Fed policy. Economists say Kevin Warsh's expected appointment as chairman is unlikely to alter monetary policy this year since decisions rest with the FOMC. Barclays and Morgan Stanley both expect limited scope for rate cuts due to strong growth, high inflation, and a divided FOMC committee. 2 cuts, June and December, are currently the base case for the FOMC. Any major policy shifts unlikely before next year, they say. Again, natural gas futures are down pretty substantially as well here. Here's natural gas. And again, we're seeing that the silver market crash move. Here, let's put this back up. So here's silver on the left side here. This crazy move in silver that we've seen, this huge move in silver that we're seeing, is apparently the rarest move we've seen in 50 years. UBS says silver's 26% plunge, intraday swings nearing 38%, is one of the most extreme moves in decades, volatility levels not seen in nearly 50 years. UBS Bank blamed the collapse on stretched prices, fading investor demand, and shifting macro conditions. Despite prices nearing UBS's long-term forecasts, it cautions it's still too early to buy given extreme volatility. So, do you agree with it? Trump will fire Warsh if he doesn't lower rates. I mean, listen, Warsh can't, look, you know, there's a misconception here is that Warsh can't, like, it's not up to Warsh. It's up to the committee. And so Warsh can want rate cuts and they still pause rates. You know, it's not up to him, unfortunately. Fortunately, whichever way you look at it, doesn't matter. And so, again, Warsh can't just cut rates because he feels like it. Now, he can add a little bit more pressure than if he wasn't chairman. But, again, it's not like he can just cut rates randomly. Because, again, 25.5. Where did we reject on the NASDAQ? 25.5 right here. Ever seen silver run up like 300% in 3 months? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, JP Morgan covered their shorts at exactly the bottom on Friday. Margin. Yeah, I heard that. All right, gold pulling all the way back 200 exponential. NASDAQ still down a little bit over the last few minutes. Yeah, so reports from COMEX say that JP Morgan closed or took delivery on 633 silver contracts, which is about 3 to 3.2 million ounces, right at Friday's crash low around $78. That means a major structural short player bought back covered size into the panic, locking in profits on earlier shorts and reducing its downside risk if silver bounces. So they kind of bought the low. It can help stabilize price. But if JP Morgan is genuinely shifting from long-term suppressor to flat or even net long physical silver, it removes a major cap on rallies. But even this news that JP Morgan covered at the bottom might embolden some longs, and we're seeing some silver bounce backs here. But we're back down to almost $80 for silver and gold here. So we've seen some crazy swings. Crazy swing. Yeah, I mean, I believe that he's probably going to be dovish. Warsh is. Just because the president, him and the president have been meeting, talking. I'm pretty sure he's going to be dovish. But you never know. You never know. Again, remember, Trump appointed Jerome Powell. And Trump and Jerome Powell have not agreed on interest rates at all. And so just because he appoints him does not mean he's going to sing his tune in like a super profound way. Sometimes they'll just say what they got to say to get appointed, you know. And so we'll see what happens. But I do believe he's going to be dovish. We'll just have to wait and see. Look at silver, guys. Silver right at $80 an ounce right now. So look at silver here. Again, silver is right at $80 an ounce. Look at this. It's also right at the volume weighted average price. Silver just cracked under 80 an ounce here. Look at silver. Let's see if it holds. Again, gold testing 47.50s, but silver just cracked $80 an ounce. If it holds down here or not. Silver testing $80 an ounce. Again, $80 whole dollar numbers right here. So if we're gonna bounce, it might be here. Yeah. Excuse me. If we're gonna bounce, yeah, look, there's a little bit of one. Look at that bounce right at $80 for silver. Nasdaq back up to 25.5, so we are seeing some rebounds here. Look at the Nasdaq. Look at silver bounce here. Here's 25.5s to get on the NQ though. Let's see if we can break above it now. Oracle may sell up to 20 billion in common stock from time to time. It said we may offer and sell from time to time our common stock, having an aggregate offering price of up to 20 billion in an SEC filing. All right, Nasdaq again at 25.5s. Silver bounced a little bit at $80 an ounce, but it's fighting here to hold. Look, Nasdaq did reject 25.5 again, the same level we drew. Big whole dollar number here is what this is. It's halfway to 26K. Yeah, this is silver futures. Yeah, these are silver futures that I'm looking at. SI silver futures. Again, don't underestimate how big the futures market is for stuff like this. Yeah, it's a busy morning here, guys. It really is. A lot of stuff going on. Again, wash, scaring markets, gold and silver, crypto correcting downside. Government's partially shut down, heading into jolts and more tomorrow. Again, we're retesting 80. Oracle has had news this morning that they were rated. Let's see. So Oracle had news earlier. They filed to sell 100 million depository shares. Fitch rated Oracle senior notes offering BBB and affirmed IDR with outlook stable. So Fitch rates assigned Oracle Corporation's proposed benchmark size unsecured bonds a BBB rating. The company will use net proceeds for general corporate purposes, which may include capex, debt, and acquisitions. Fitch did affirm Oracle's long and short-term issuer default ratings at BBB and F2 respectively. They said the ratings outlook is stable. This benefited Oracle a lot this morning, but Oracle kind of pulled back a little bit. Yeah, so that news on Oracle is what's boosted. Again, Nasdaq still rejecting 25.5s. This is kind of the line in the sand level that markets keep testing here. And again, Bitcoin, crypto, gold markets are down, although they did bounce back a little bit today. Again, here's silver now under $80 an ounce for futures. Bitcoin right at 78K. Looking at 78,000 here for Bitcoin here. Again, here's silver trying to bounce at 80. Again, according to the Greenland Prime Minister, the U.S. is still seeking to control Greenland. They said the U.S. continues to pursue ownership and control of Greenland despite President Trump's ruling out military action. He renewed calls for U.S. control in early this year after security concerns straining NATO relations. He later claimed full U.S. access through a NATO deal, according to him, but still remains unclear. And also, Oracle may sell up to 20 billion in common stock from time to time, according to them. So expecting a recession. Do we enter a recession this year? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe we do. I don't know. Again, the government shut down today. We'll see if we resume today. If the House votes, we could resume today. Yeah, but again, we're supposed to have JOLTS tomorrow, February 3rd at 10 a.m. It's a BLS report, Bureau of Labor Statistics, same people that dropped the labor report. But if the House doesn't pass the funding bill today and the partial shutdown is still in effect tomorrow morning, we got to assume JOLTS is not coming out. Under the Department of Labor's current contingency plan, the BLS suspends, quote, most operations in a lapse, and the economic data that are scheduled to be released during the lapse will not be released. And natural gas tanking, I saw that. It was up crazy because of the winter storm. Natural gas futures went all the way up to almost 750s up here for natural gas. The problem is that the winter storm came and went, and it wasn't as harsh as people expected it to be. And so once that weather came and went, natty gas futures corrected heavily. They're now at 350s. They were at 750s at the peak. So that's kind of what we're seeing is like natty gas futures, correcting back down. All right, we're also seeing news about a couple different things that just dropped. Specifically that trading houses exported a roughly 392 barrels of Venezuelan oil in January, 284,000 BPD exported, according to shipping data. So this affects oil. Again, Venezuela's oil exports bounced to some 800,000 BPD in January from 498 in December, helped by trader sales shipping. Trader sales, according to shipping data, the U.S. was the main individual destination of their oil in January, with some 284,000 BPD exported. Again, this is according to some shipping data. Again, Chevron's January export of Venezuelan oil has reportedly more than doubled, 220,000 barrels per day from 99 in December. So again, a little bit more stability in Iran, causing oil to drop on the day. It's down to $61 a barrel. It was at 65, 66 last week. And again, MicroStrategy fell again, down to 138s today from 150s. Bitcoin fell to a 10-month low. It's cold here in Texas too. It's not warm. At least it wasn't yesterday. Tons of noise in the market right now. It seems very forced when it really seems like things are overall seem good and we should be heading into a good direction. Yeah, there's always stuff going on. Yeah, I know there's a winter storm, what, on the East Coast? I'm in Texas, so it's not hitting me that bad. But I know there's for all my East Coast brothers and sisters over there, are y'all snowed in right now? Let me know. I know Pawn probably is. So iced in Central Virginia? Yeah. I saw it was hitting, but yeah, we'll see with the Super Bowl. What happens with the Super Bowl? Orange Land? Yeah, so again, U.S. envoy Witkoff is gonna attend talks in Abu Dhabi mid this week on the 4th and 5th. Again, there's the NASDAQ here. Here's silver. Again, silver holding at $80, right around the volume-weighted average price. Frozen in Canada. Right now in New York City, but they say something's coming. Still icy here. I have a doctor appointment today. Greg getting out. Yeah. No snow. What's up, chef? Yeah, well, I mean, in the context of natural gas is down a lot. Again, we have AMD earnings this week also. AMD at 235s. Again, Oracle had some crazy moves at 172s right now. Alphabet's down, but a lot of stuff has bounced back this morning, starting the day. Yeah, it's Monday. Hey, happy Monday, guys. Thank you. And we got ISM manufacturing PMI data at 10 a.m. That's the only data release we got today. ISM manufacturing. So far, we're kind of quiet and flat in our trading. Yeah, there's a couple news stories today. I mean, obviously, last week Kevin Warsh's nomination as the Fed chairman is it's been evoking negative reactions here in markets. We're getting negative reactions in markets mostly from Warsh. With that said, look at the Nasdaq pulled back here. Nasdaq dipping down to 25,460s. Again, 25.5 did reject right here, the only level we drew in our chart so far. Again, gold and silver testing 80. Silver's testing $80 an ounce. Gold at 47.50. I would watch like 4,500s on gold as well. Big psychological level, very similar to the Nasdaq's 25.5 level that's been rejecting all day. And again, I'm looking at $80 on as a specific level on silver. Again, but the government should be back open this week here. So odds of an actual floor vote today look low. Tomorrow's more likely. Johnson said it will be a few days before the funding package comes up for a House vote, and that he's targeting ending the shutdown by Tuesday at the latest. Okay. First step today is House Rules Committee meeting this afternoon to set up the rule. But it's looking like Tuesday is when we're gonna get the vote. I don't know why. Like, get the vote now. All right, Nasdaq break it down under 25.4s. Yeah, Lewis, you're in, brother. Y'all can hear me. I can see it. But again, we're heading into the closing bell. We'll see what we get. Or the opening bell. Are y'all bullish or bearish today? Put bull or bear in chat. I'm curious to see what you guys think. I don't know if I'm bullish or bearish. Depends on what we're talking about. I'm bullish, but I think if the Bears gain control, it can spiral downward, is what I'm worried about. So I'm bullish, but if the Bears gain control, I'm nervous. Yeah. Bull, bear. Bear, bear. Bull, bear, bear. Bear, bear. A lot of bears out today. I think we have gone up a little bit this morning, and that gap could easily fill on the downside. I think that's very possible. Bear, bear. Bull, bull. Perma bear. I mean, perma bears usually are wrong. I've always said this, but like, it's fine to be permanently bullish because I think if you wait long enough, markets are going up. If you're permanently bearish, the longer you are, the less likely you are to be correct. Like if SPY's at $600, let's just call it easy. If the SPY's at $600 and you're bearish at $600, even if it drops under $600, the longer you wait, the more time that goes on, the less likely we are to stay below $600. The more likely we are to push higher than 600 over time and time. The perma bulls, unless we're talking about like penny stocks, they're usually wrong. They're usually wrong. Man, all this crashing is stressing me out. I need some comfort food. Today, mega reversal. Fear bears, bull, bull. Bear, Bitcoin is trash, bear. I'm a perma bear. What's up, Bruce? I'm finally back trading jiu-jitsu, brother. I'm finally back. Knee feels good. Foot feels good. You know. Finally back. Took a little while. I'm a perma bear, but all my positions are bullish. Can't lose. Listen, diversification, brother. Diversification. Chicken fried steak. I like chicken fried steak. I like barbecue. That's what I like. Some collard greens, brisket, macaroni and cheese, cream corn. I'll eat that every day. Again, gold's still falling down here. Silver is as well, though. Look at gold and silver. Gold back down to $4,700 an ounce, which is right around the volume-weighted average price. Here's gold as we speak. So gold's still falling here. Gold's been dropping for about 25 minutes or so now. With gold, look at gold pull back. UFC was pretty good. It was pretty good. I watched it. Dan Hooker got beat up. Who did he fight? I can't remember. Volk did it again. The fight was a little boring if you ask me, but Volk was good. A positive drift. Bears in Texas. February is normally a down month. I think a good correction, 10 to 15%, would be good for the markets going forward. Still would be in a bullish trend. Yeah, I mean, I get it. But I mean, look, if we look at the SPY as an example, you know, we put up a 4-hour chart. I would say we're pretty easily in the trend, and I would say we've already gotten a pretty big correction here. So, like, it depends on how we look at this. But a weekly chart probably could use a correction. The last real correction we got was at the beginning of last year in April. Not really the beginning, but April last year. What did they call this? Liberation Day? What was it? What was the nickname? I can't remember the nickname of April 1st last year. That was the last major correction we've had in markets. We had another mini one in October, but then we ended up breaking all-time highs. And now maybe if we look at like the NASDAQ, or I should put the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, up. Here's the QQQ. The last real correction we've seen, again, was April last year. April. So whether we're due for another one is questionable. Generally speaking, at least once a year, we get at least a 10% correction in markets. Sometimes it gets bought up, sometimes it doesn't. But so maybe we'll see another one this year. In the NASDAQ bouncing right here at the 200 exponential. Usually overnight crashes are bought up at market opens. Yeah, and sometimes we'll get choppiness, and then right at the opening bell, that volatility unlocks and we get big moves in either direction. So I'm going to be looking for that today. We'll see if that happens. But again, sometimes we'll get big pullbacks, big drops, big corrections, and that volatility is kind of bought up. Give me some pad thai, bro. I'm a spice wimp. I can't handle that. Oh, yeah. Saint Denis, man. Saint Denis is a beast, man. You gotta, you know. That dude, his grappling is just legit. Poirier, you realize how good Poirier is because Poirier KO'd Saint Denis fairly easily. But Saint Denis is legit. I did like Dan Hooker's strategy against him. He threw that modified ghillie, you know. I did like that strategy, but he would, you know, yeah. Yeah, Palantir earnings today. We do have Palantir earnings. Palantir at 150s right now. We do have earnings for Palantir today. We'll see what happens with them. Again, gold's still continuing its correction back down. Look at gold here. Gold is still falling. It's under $4,700 an ounce for gold right now. The gold tumbling down here right now. Again, if you put up a 30-minute chart, you can kind of see like gold has dropped a lot over the last 5 days or so. This morning it did have this big kind of V-shaped looking recovery, but now it's kind of coming back down. I think $4,700 is an interesting level for gold. Yeah, we're covering PMI today for sure. Robinhood down. John, you think we're going to bounce today? Depends on what we're talking about. Maybe. It depends on what the opening bell does in 45 minutes. I'm not sure. So I think we could bounce. I have no idea what we're going to do today. I think we could. I think we're down a lot the last, few days, but I think I don't think anything's certain. And I think today especially just depends on who takes control. I think we could. We could. Not certain, though. Nothing's certain here, but we could. Again, NASDAQ's green and an upward trend all morning now. I think, you can get two different stories. You could say, okay, well, we're down over the last 5 days, gold and silver. Maybe those start to run. Maybe the NASDAQ and others follow it. Or you could also look at it, okay, NASDAQ is rebounded a lot this morning. It's basically midnight last night. And because we've already gone up substantially, maybe at the opening bell, we fill some of this gap and come back down. I think both of those things are reasonable to think about. What do you guys think we do at the opening bell? Up or down? Yeah, hey, I appreciate the guys hitting the like button. Thanks so much. Again, we'll see if crypto and gold market crash continues. Again, Bitcoin struggling to stay over 80s. Gold's been breaking down. NASDAQ's looking a little bit stronger at 25.5s right now. Down at the open, down, up, up. That shows how split everybody is. Opening bell's in 45 minutes. Down at first. Hate to say it, but down. Yeah, I mean, down. Disney CEO in the conference call tells investors that the company has no need to buy more IP. I don't know if we get it, but I'm waiting to short around 25.8. A long way away, 25.8. Again, I'm looking at gold. Gold is broken down. 4,700 and the VWAP are right here. So a big whole dollar number and a supporting moving average or supporting VWAP level right here. So we'll see if this bounces it. I mean, sometimes these levels hold. So I am looking at that for gold right here. Getting gold at 47s. WAP, whole dollar number. And as I say that, look at gold bounce a little bit right here. Doesn't mean anything. It's very small yet, especially considering the moves gold has made over the last 3 days. Look at the NASDAQ, 25.5s again. Gold did bounce right at 4,700. Gold bounced at 4,700. I love you. Good day. Again, gold did bounce at 4,700s. NASDAQ back over 25.5 still. NASDAQ is over that level. Still holding. Old Faithful. Bro. Love you, dude. Good day, man. Why are you trudging? My son's just trudging right now. He's mad about something. Who knows? Anyways, gold did bounce at 4,700s. Get NASDAQ at 25.5s here. Still struggling to hold over it though. Look at 25.5s right here. Now, we haven't really had any data today yet. PMI data comes out at 9:45 and 10 a.m. GE Verona launches public offering of senior notes. Tom Lee, somebody was asking about him this morning. Bitmine buys 47,000 or almost 42,000 ETH worth about 97 million. Again, Disney CFO says bookings at Walt Disney World up 5% for the full year. Tells investors Disney has no need to buy more IP. Chinese and Russian diplomats are discussing BRICS nation cooperation. And again, this morning we had news that Michael Saylor has acquired 855 Bitcoin worth $75 million at just under 88,000 in Bitcoin. Yeah, NASDAQ finally got over 25 fives. Over this, we're just watching the high of the day up here at like 25 right here. Still struggling to get over this level though at 25 fives. Very sideways over the last 30, 45 minutes. Sailors just keep buying. Yeah, look at gold. I gotta start taking these big milestone levels, especially when a moving average or the volume weighted average price are right around it. I talked about this bounce right here. And we got this bounce. Same thing with the 200 EMA. Look at the 200 exponential right here. NASDAQ. Same thing with silver probably here. We talked about one on silver too, I think. Yeah, silver, $80 is what we talked about. Again, whole dollar number and $80 right here. Volume weighted average price. Hindsight's 2020, but I gotta start taking those more. Checking on more news here. But again, Tom Lee's Bitmine buys almost 42,000 ETH worth 97 million. NASDAQ back over 25 fives here, heading towards the highs of the day now. See if the NASDAQ holds up here. Again, Bitcoin's still struggling to get over 78,000. And look at the 200 EMA on silver right here. 200 exponential. All right, let's see if that 25.5 level acts as support now. Yeah, I'm looking at more. Yeah, so I see somebody saying why the market didn't pause. COMEX, the move in silver was enormous, but it unfolded over a long enough window that it didn't formally meet the exchange's 1 hour price limit circuit breaker criteria, so there is no official halt, just continuous trading. Separately, though, several brokers and venues and a few silver-linked ETFs reported order routing or volatility protection issues. So a lot of people thought silver should have been halted. In reality, the main futures market never hit the formal circuit breaker trigger. Dow positive on the day? Let's take a look. Here's the Dow. Dow is positive. Dow's up to 49,000. And that's a win right now for markets. Well, maybe getting out of tech. Again, Brazil oil production hits 4.015 million barrel per day in December, up 17.4% from the year ago. All right, guys, we are heading into the top of the hour at 9 a.m. I have a halt study in silver. Almost came down to the halt level Friday, as long as it's not an immediate 2.5% drop in one candle they let it dive. Palantir upgrade. All right, guys, so we're trying to hold here. I'm watching the NASDAQ. It's just not making any clean moves. There's the Dow. Again, silver bouncing at 80. Gold has been falling down, but it just since had a little bounce back at 4,700. Bitcoin's been sitting right around 78K all morning. Oracle had a pretty big rebound this morning. Hit 172s, 175s. It's all the way back to 170s now, though. Silver hurt last week. Hoping it's not the same. Well, the Dow was filled with less tech stocks, Steve. So the Dow being green, like the QQQ, the NASDAQ, whatever you want to call it, the NASDAQ 100 is filled with more tech versus the Dow, which is less tech centered. And so it's possible for the Dow to be green, and other markets red. That's not highly unusual. So the NASDAQ's really red on the day, but yeah, it's possible for the Dow to be green and everything else be red. It's not uncommon. Yeah, so Rule 589 in the COMEX CME special price fluctuation limits rule for metal futures governs when fast moves trigger automatic halts. It doesn't guarantee a halt, though, just because you see a big candle. It only fires if the move breaches those dynamic bands within the defined time window. So it's not just the percentage, it's the time frame the move happens in. Man, I was talking about this gold dip at 4,700 in the VWAP here, man. Look at this. I wish I would have taken it. Look at this move. Again, right at that level here. This is where we talked about it at, right here. Whole dollar number and VWAP, right around the same spot. NASDAQ's climbing close to highs of the day right here. Highs of the day are just over 25,525s. We're watching the NASDAQ move up to this level here. If we go up here and then pull back to 25,500, I might buy this dip right here at 25.5s. We're waiting for that now. But gold, silver, and the NASDAQ starting to head up a little bit. Also, Alphabet making moves. Again, economists say Kevin Warsh's expected appointment as Fed is unlikely to alter monetary policy since decisions rest with the FOMC. Barclays and Morgan Stanley both expect limited scope for rate cuts due to strong growth, higher inflation, and divided Fed committee. FOMC committee. 2 cuts, June and December, are the base case, according to them. Also, Bank of America. Their sell-side indicator implies a 12% S&P 500 return over the next 12 months as Wall Street keep allocations near record highs. Again, the silver crash that we've seen is one of the rarest moves in 50 years, according to UBS. They say silver's 26% plunge with intraday swings nearing 38% is one of the biggest moves we've seen in decades, with volatility levels not seen in nearly 50 years. The bank blamed the collapse on stretched prices, fading investor demand, and shifting macro conditions. But despite these prices nearing UBS's long-term forecast, it cautions it's still too early to buy given extreme volatility. And again, we got big earnings this week, guys. We got big earnings. We got Palantir today, Google later this week, Amazon later this week, and more. So NASDAQ just cracked highs of the day here. Broke 525s. NASDAQ over highs of the day right now at 528s. Hit almost 540s at 536s here on the NQ. The NASDAQ did just break highs of the day. That is to follow their mandate. Yeah, and again, Warsh, while he has more influence, he's not going to be able to do it by himself, right? Like, he's not, just because Warsh wants lower rates does not mean we get lower rates. It's the FOMC committee's decision. Anyways, NASDAQ hit 528s. They're sitting at 528s right now after breaking over the high of the day here. Again, if we dip down to 25.5s, I'll buy that. I want to wait for that. Again, we're right at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, Alphabet is one of the reasons right now. 337s. Alphabet 337s. New York sell this or do they buy? I have no idea. have no idea what New York does here. Again, look at Alphabet. In Meta. Nasdaq just broke highs of the day again, up to 540s on the NQ. Here's the SPY. SPY's testing highs of the day as well. Gold and silver still in the wake of a pullback, but Nasdaq's popping over highs again, partly driven by Alphabet. Again, Britain's FTSE 100 is up 0.8% to a record high as well. I need a dip here though. I don't want to buy high of the day breakout. I'm not a big fan of high of the day breakouts. I would much prefer to get like a pullback into a major support level like this that's been confirmed previously and take a range trade up back up to the previous high like this and just back this range, if that makes sense, versus buying this high and then maybe it going up but maybe it dumping back down. I'd much rather just wait, have patience, and just wait for some better moves. Way too agreed pre-market. Yeah, I think we could well, momentum trading would be kind of buying the high of the break. I'm just looking for a range here. Like, I think if we dip down to 25.5s, we have enough room for a potential bounce back up here, even if it continues down. And if it gets strength and continues higher, we can take that too. But I just want a big confirmed level here versus, like, this is not enough meat. There's not enough meat on the move to buy this pullback here. It's just too close. Now, if momentum picks up, we could definitely like run up big. But for my style of trading, it's just not enough meat here. Too big of a chance it breaks underneath this and falls back down. Microsoft planning to stop dipping. Microsoft is pulling back after earnings here. Did I buy Microsoft? Am I still in them? Did I buy Microsoft last week, guys? I can't remember. I gotta check now. Did I buy Microsoft last week? I can't remember. Order history. Let me see. Trade history. Yeah. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so I already made money on Microsoft. Do I want to buy it back here? I don't know. I could have held it, and probably made more, but yeah, look, here's that 525 level. Again, there's just not enough meat on the move for me to target this. For me, there's just not enough meat on the move. Yeah, I think I had a small trade there. And here's silver and gold. All right, guys, we are going to be day trading the opening bell live. So we did get a little bounce at 525s. Silver's still pushing back higher here. Bitcoin over 78,000 now as we speak. Past 9 o'clock. We got less than 30 until the opening bell. We'll put this up. We got a timer for the opening bell, 28 minutes or so. Heads up, guys, trying to trade silver. Looks like they opened up a lot more strike price for options. I will start trading today at $half levels. 100 contracts for the channel. Bitcoin doesn't move much because it's used to borrow against it to invest. Any news today? We have ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 o'clock. We got regular manufacturing PMI at 9:45. Nothing crazy, to be honest. Nasdaq did bounce at 525 at this level right here too. Maybe I should have held that. Maybe I should have held that level. Again, there just wasn't enough meat. Like, look, we could go up here and break this level, and then I don't think this is a big enough pullback. I would much prefer this type of move. Even if we do hold up here, I don't know. I'm not too big of a chance it falls down quickly. Again, let's be some stocks. I'll take a look at them ahead of the opening bell. CoreWeave is on the brink of a pullback here. We did have news about OpenAI and NVIDIA's $100 billion deal falling through today. We did have some news there that scared markets. Basically, they say talks regarding the $100 billion NVIDIA OpenAI deal has stalled, and that drug microchips down some here. And the NASDAQ rebounding big ahead of the opening bell. I don't know if I'm bearish or bullish right now. I think there's a chance we correct a little bit at the open, but I don't think it's certain. And I also think if you look at other markets here, there's an hourly chart on the NASDAQ. I think we're net down since late last month. In the NASDAQ was up to almost all-time highs. And so we are net down from that. So I think it's possible we do either one of these things at the opening bell. It's possible we fill some of this recent rebound and come back down, or it's possible we have a longer term gap fill on the upside. I'm really not sure which one. I think you could argue at the bottom of the range. So, and I try not to trade with the trend, and so we are in an upward trend right now. I try not to trade against the trend, and so we are in an upward trend. As long as we stay above the 200 exponential, I'll probably continue to attack longs. But we'll see. We'll see. Don't trust anything. IREN. What happened to Open Door? You guys remember Open Door? That thing dumped, huh? Not gonna say I told you. Not gonna say it. Again, is it time to buy quantum stocks? We talked about quantum stocks earlier. They're in the wake of large pullbacks as well. SNDK, yeah, SNDK, huge move from earnings and then filled the entire gap down. Not the entire gap, but close to it. Again, huge move from earnings and SNDK. Again, they produce memory, and memory prices are obscene right now. But again, we're at 677 at the highs. We have now come all the way back down to 590s. It's not the full gap fill, that would be down here, but it's given back like 75% of the upside move it made on its earnings report. And it did have great earnings. It did have great earnings. SNDK, if you look at this, we posted this on the social media here. SNDK posted, trying to making me log back in here. Yeah, so SNDK posted these crazy numbers here. They beat 620 EPS, adjusted EPS. They expected 360. So they posted 620 adjusted EPS. They expected 360s. Revenue of over $3 billion. They expected $2.69 billion. They raised their guidance, though, for quarter 3 numbers here for SNDK. So SNDK, they see quarter 3 adjusted EPS of $12 to $14 a share. They expected $3.63 a share. Sales at 4.4 to 4.48 billion. They expected 2.62 billion expected. So way better guidance than expected for quarter 3. Huge beat on EPS and revenue numbers for quarter 2 for SNDK. And so again, there's a reason it pushed up so much from its earnings. Got up to almost $700 a share. 680 basically right here. But it filled most of the gap on the downside the very next day, all the way back down to 588. So now the question is it time to buy SNDK? They produce memory. They're benefiting from these high memory prices. And again, if you tried to buy RAM lately, you know how high memory's gotten in terms of price. Crazy moves here. Crazy moves. Is it time to buy SNDK? Let me know. Disney CFO says company stopped disclosing television revenue because it's no longer relevant in a world where entertainment is distributed broadly. All right, the UK government added 11 new designations under the Iran sanction regime. Over at 82s. All right, guys, we got the opening bell in 22 minutes. 22 minutes. Yeah, Supermicro Semiconductors releases earnings is Tuesday evening. Google Wednesday, Supermicro Semiconductors, and AMD Tuesday. Tomorrow after the closing bell. Yeah, so we have it tomorrow. Logic is sound on the memory company. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching it at the opening bell. So here's a pullback in the NASDAQ here. And again, here's silver. Here's gold. Still watching these. Here's a pullback. Let's see if again, there's still not quite enough meat on at 525s. I'm just going to wait, I think. So again, just not quite enough move. Yeah, the House Rules Committee will take up legislation today. He said he expects a floor vote to end the partial government shutdown this week. Snowflake signs a $200 million multi-year partnership with OpenAI. So Snowflake just announced this news 5 minutes ago, and look at Snow. Snow's popping up. It's at 198s right now. Snowflake, again, $200 million multi-year partnership with OpenAI is what's driving this. Platinum and palladium. Yeah, they move with precious metals, really. Alphabet's still pushing up, though, filling some of this gap on the downside here. I'd like a pullback to 25.5s. I still want this level here. I might buy it a little bit early, but I want 25.5s. Layoffs in semiconductor industry. Yeah, it's still pretty early. Again, Bitcoin struggling to hold over 78,000. It's at 77.86s. Trying to be patient today, though, man. We're just not really. Again, I could buy 525s. Maybe the momentum will pick it up. And we are 20 minutes ahead of the opening bell. I just don't want to take too crazy a position yet. Yeah, well, the OpenAI NVIDIA news, like we had OpenAI about a fallout between OpenAI and NVIDIA. Jensen Huang said the pledge to invest $100 billion in OpenAI was, quote, never a commitment, end quote. Again, Jensen Huang said that he said it was never a commitment and that the company would consider any funding rounds one at a time. He said they invited us to invest up to $100 billion, and of course we were very happy and honored that they invited us, but we will invest one step at a time regarding OpenAI and NVIDIA. So, see what happens. Crypto Black Monday opportunity. I like Honeywell stock for the most part. Not an investment professional though, guys. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything here. Do not copy me. Not an investment. Of course, I'm not liable if you lose. And yeah, we'll see what we get now. Heading towards the opening bell. We got ISM manufacturing PMI at 10. We'll see if it moves markets. Yeah, I'm curious to see how OpenAI's IPO is going to do this year. I think that's one of the big talking points is You know, we got SpaceX supposed to IPO, merging with other companies and then IPOing potentially. And then we have OpenAI, which, considering all the deals announced for OpenAI and the funding and all the stuff going on, I think I'm curious to see how that responds, how markets respond to the OpenAI IPO and what that brings in terms of volatility as well. They think it's going to be later in the year, though, so it's going to be some time before we see it. But yeah. Yeah, NASDAQ, greed of the day, had a little rebound after falling down here. You can kind of see, though, what we've done here. Here's the NASDAQ on the left. You can kind of see we had these big dips. At this morning, at top of the hour, early this morning at midnight, we basically started this V-shaped recovery, and now we're back right here. And so we filled a lot of the gap that we put in. But we're still net down if you zoom out more here on the NASDAQ. Like, if I zoom out more on the NQ, we're still pretty net down over the last few days. Since last week. Although we were close to highs last week, so I think you could look at it a couple different ways. All right, NASDAQ starting to move back up to test highs of the day again. Best Buy stock keeps going down. Could be the one closing this year. I don't know. I think Best Buy probably still makes a good bit of money, but who knows, man. Maybe that's just my own bias. I don't really pay attention to it. In terms of earnings. Yeah, Best Buy still earns money. It's slowing for sure, though. But again, if you look at Best Buy's margins, I would assume they make money. Every time I go to Best Buy, there's usually people there. As well as, like, I think a lot of stores are susceptible to weakness in terms of online sales. But I think tech and hardware, I think for tech nerds like me, ordering something online or just going to the store and picking it up same day. Most of the time, I'm just going to go to the store and pick it up same day so I can have it today. Versus wait a day or two to get it shipped to me. And so I think that creates a little bit more resilience in companies like Best Buy. Although if you look at their growth, obviously their growth is slowing. Internet's still going to eat some of their lunch. You know, and I think that's obvious. But I think they'll be a little bit more resilient than other retail stores that might struggle more and more as time goes on from mail order shipping. Amazon. Amazon and more. Time to buy Apple. Didn't Apple have a big thing this last week here? Apple rebounded mid. Most people thought. Apple's been flat for a few days as well. Again, gold and silver starting to bounce back here, but it's kind of small. Couple percent. Bitcoin looks like it wants to roll over to dip lower. I don't know, man. I think Bitcoin's been in the wake of a big, crazy pullback now for a while. 120,000. Last year it went from roughly 77,000, 80,000, all the way up to 120 plus, and now it's back down to 77. So I think 75, interesting level on it now. I think if we look at Bitcoin here, I'm watching 75K, and I think historically 75,000 has been a support level. Again, it obviously could keep dipping. Underneath that, there's 70,000. You know? And so, yeah, we'll see what happens. But time will tell. I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do. Buy the dippers are buying every small dip. When 5%, 10% dips come, they will crawl under their desk and start rocking back and forth. Maybe. Double top. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, guys, we got 14 minutes left until the opening bell. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Radio Shack. Honestly, when I was in Michigan, I went to a Radio Shack. It was the first time I had been to a Radio Shack in, like, 20 years. Because that was like one of my favorite stores growing up in the 90s was Radio Shack. This was before Best Buy. I'll tell you this. I went to a Radio Shack. It was nostalgic, but I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. And I even asked them about it. I was like, I thought Radio Shack closed a long time ago. And they said they're basically choosing. Ugh, dude. My nose is just stopped up. Maybe it's the coffee I'm drinking. They said they're basically choosing to keep it open. or something. That they bought it out. I can't remember what they said or why they were still open. But yeah, guys like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's pretty optimistic with crypto. I can't disagree with that. He puts out some wild outcomes. Boeing said we're in contact with Air India and are supporting their review of this matter. Sure, Boeing is down a little bit after the news earlier on the day regarding, where was it? I saw it earlier. Air India says they were aware one of our pilots has reported a possible defect on the fuel-controlled switch of Boeing 787-8 aircrafts. Matter's been communicated, so... In Boeing kind of wild swings. Again, AMD almost filled the gap on the upside, about to go green on the day. We do have earnings for them this week, as well as Supermicro. I haven't looked at Supermicro in a while, though. And again, I remember telling people when this thing was at 50 that it was risky. It was the big hot stock for a while. It's now back down to 29s. So. All right, guys, 11 minutes into the opening bell. 11 minutes. No, I mean, I'm just looking at Best Buy as a company, right? Maybe y'all's Best Buy is slower. Really, yeah, I'm going to talk about my own personal experiences with Best Buy. But honestly, I'm also looking at their history. Like, here's their margins. You know, this is their actual data here, not my subjective experience. And again, like I said, their growth is definitely slowing. I think retail's going to eat their lunch a little bit. Or I think mail order's going to eat their lunch a little bit, just because I think over time, more and more people are going to get used to buying things online, and that dynamic will continue. But again, me saying Best Buy is a little bit more resilient to that, I don't think is inaccurate. I think that's probably correct. Best Buy versus other retail stores is going to be a little bit more resilient to mail order shipping because people want to pick their TVs up in store. It's not convenient to ship TVs. It's not convenient to ship other big tech and hardware. People want their stuff same day. They can go buy a laptop same day. And so I think that makes them resilient. I don't think that's a crazy thesis. But again, let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I am. That Disney not disclosing TV revenue comment was wild. Yeah, I mean, I can't even disagree with it, though. I think over time, people watch less TV. You know, most of it is streaming, on demand, you know. And I think that'll continue. Amazon stock, NASDAQ pulling back. We're pretty flat, though, and pretty sideways here. NASDAQ, Amazon. I like Amazon long term. I think Amazon, again, not an investment professional, but Amazon seems pretty. Their growth seems pretty secure. Fry's Electronics? No, I went to Circuit City. I always wanted to go to Circuit City growing up. But I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Circuit City was kind of in a sketchy area after a certain point in time. Circuit City was kind of sketchy. And so my parents would never bring me there. I wanted to go look at their computers because they had like a bunch of like computers and not toys. They had a bunch of electronics there I wanted to look at. But I never really got to go. But I still have fond memories of going to Circuit City. I don't think I ever went to Fry's. I don't know if we had a Fry's around my area. The PMI data. So we get base PMI data at 9:45. It's not the big release, though. The ISM, the Institute of Supply Management PMI data drops at 10 a.m. So we have 9:45 PMI data. The bigger one is at 10 o'clock. Uh, 10 a.m. is about 40 minutes away. 38 minutes, 37. Buy from Best Buy online, deliver same day, beats Amazon in my area, Walmart too. Alright, guys. GameStop owner is buying some new company. Yeah, I mean, GameStop, the problem is that nobody goes there. You know? The problem with GameStop is that they specialize in things that are going to be obsolete over time, like physical video games. And so, again, I mean, I think this is really obvious. I think this is what started the 2020 short squeeze, is that most big money, you know, firms recognized the inherent risk of GameStop as a company long term. Because, again, they're selling things that are going to be obsolete over time, like physical copies of video games. Now, they might get a little bit of traffic from gamers. Like, I'm a gamer, I know. Halo 3, best video game ever. But the problem is that their business is going to slow and slow and slow over time because people are going to download games digitally. Memory capabilities are going to increase over time, as they do. This is very obvious. And that's going to make people have less of a need to buy GameStop stuff over time. Now, they're trying to diversify out of that. But, I mean, this is just very obvious. And yeah, I don't know what can save them. Maybe buying up other companies, and, you know, I see some comments about that. Maybe that'll save them. I don't know. I'm not buying it right now. GameStop moved their business model to collectibles, but aren't they paying like bad? Aren't they paying bad percentages in terms of Pokemon cards? Like if you go try to sell them Pokemon cards, they're not willing to buy, like, you know, they're not willing to pay market value for it or anywhere close to it. It's like 60%, something like that, right? I don't know. I haven't been to a GameStop in a while. Maybe I should go there. Again, I haven't been. Again, look at 525. This level holding up markets right now. Again, gold and silver consolidating a little bit after rebounding strong early this morning. Silver at 81s. People moving to PC? I don't know, brother. I think consoles, the convenience of consoles. I think there's always going to be people on consoles. Why? Because PCs are hella expensive, you know? Like, I put it this way, like, on the current computer I'm using right now to stream, this thing's got super specs. I've got a 49-inch monitor. If I wanted to game on a PC, this is the PC to game on. Problem is that it's not convenient. I want a big TV, you know? And I think a lot of people have grown up with consoles, and so I would argue PC gaming might be dwindling, but maybe that's just my own personal bias. Especially as consoles catch up to the power of PCs. Again, it might just be my own personal bias, though. Yeah, so again, they're talking about the NVIDIA OpenAI deal cooling down a little bit. There's Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO, did make some comments yesterday about how, like, again, I can talk about it some more. Again, Jensen Huang said the company's proposed $100 billion investment into OpenAI was, quote, never a commitment. And he also said that the company would consider any funding rounds just one at a time. Again, it was never a commitment. They invited us to invest $100 billion, of course. We were very happy and honored that they invited us, but we will invest one step at a time, end quote, Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO. So, yeah, I mean, we're getting news that that deal, that $100 billion deal between NVIDIA and OpenAI is cooling down a little bit. And, we'll see what happens. Last time I walked into a GameStop, I was trading cards at Funko Pops. Dude, I never got into the Funko Pops. I grew up on Pokemon cards. So, Funko Pops, I'm just not into them. My daughter's into them. She has some. All right, guys, here we go. We got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. Patriots losing this week will be bullish for the market. Hey, maybe. I believe in the Saints next year. We got Shuck. I believe, guys. I believe the Saints. They're not going to be the Aints anymore. I believe we're going to win next year. Saints, we'll see. Put it out there. Saints are going to win the Super Bowl next year. Don't judge me, all right? Don't judge me. 2 minutes left, guys. 2 minutes. NASDAQ under 525. Silver bouncing a little bit at that $80 level again, right around the volume-weighted average price. Or no, this year. I mean, Saints are going to win this year. My bad. I forgot it was 2026. I keep forgetting it's this year. I remember Pogs. I never got into him, but I remember him. Bro, we got a quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Louisiana, so I kind of default to supporting the Saints. It's hard sometimes, though. It's really hard. All right, guys, here we go. Opening bell in 1 minute. 1 minute left. LSU baseball? Yes, sir. Yeah, I wanted Spencer to do well. He just didn't. All right, he just didn't. You know, I wanted it to happen, though. I really did. All right, guys. Hey, we got 1 minute left. NASDAQ very flat and boring. All right, guys. 50 seconds. 50 seconds. Tyson Foods CEO says U.S. cattle supplies are expected to remain tight this year and next year. Dahmer's office says they have appointed Victoria Bowler as PM Deputy Advisor on Business, Investment, and Trade. Trump says he welcomes China and India investment in Venezuelan oil. All right, here we go, guys. 20 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. Let's see what the opening bell brings here. What I've done here. Here's silver. There we go. All right, look at the NASDAQ shoot up at the opening bell. Wow, look at this pop here at the opening bell. Here's to see what gold and silver do. Look at this pop in the NASDAQ. Wow, up to 25,600s right at the opening bell. Look at that move here. That's a big move. For an opening bell candle, that's big. Up to 620 or 610s right now. Look at this move here. Wow. Crazy. Apple shooting up to 261s. Oracle bouncing back higher here as well. Look at this move. Meta shooting up to 720s right now. Meta up to 720s. What a move here. NASDAQ up to 25,620s. Yeah, we're at 720s on Meta. Apple at 261s. 625 rejected here. Watching silver and gold as well, though. Netflix is green. All right, NASDAQ. Still very green on the day. Still early, though. Gold and silver. Kind of muted open. Bitcoin over 78,000. NASDAQ has had no red candles since the opening bell here. Again, we do have manufacturing PMI data at 9:45. ISM, Institute of Supply Management data comes out at 10 a.m. though. SNDK. Yeah, here's the move. I should have bought it. But it's at 615s right now. 615s for SNDK. It was probably time for them to fill some of this gap. But again, they produce memory. And memory prices are up. SNDK flying higher here. 615s right now. I might buy $600 if we get a pullback to it. I might. We're about 3 minutes into the day. I might buy. Again, but SNDK flying up to 615s here. Need a stronger pullback here. We will buy this, though. Hold on, let me see. We are green on the day. We have a small cushion, but what a move. I'd rather buy 600s versus 625s, though. Want 600s first. It might bounce at 625. If it does, I'll probably cry about it, but look, $600 more right here. Kind of a whippy day here. Against SanDisk. Doing really well. Oracle giving back some of his gains. All right, we're under 625s. Want 600s. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I like 600 right here. We're close. Want this level right here. I got to wait for it. Close, but no cigar. I'll buy one. Take one. Scale in if it gets down to 600. But if we get the bounce, we'll still catch it. There we go. Oh, wait, y'all can't see. All right, we can add back. All right, we're at 2. Take up to 4 here. There we go, another pop. I'm going to take half of that off right there. Or a third. A little bit more off up there. Now we're green nonetheless. Let this ride. The range is honestly pretty large for the opening bell here too. Alphabet just went green on the day. I want to give it a chance to get up there though, so we'll hold this one a little bit longer. There we go. Yep. And I'm going to get out right there. You love to see it. You love to see it. Green is good. Let's see if SanDisk holds. I might buy a little bit of SanDisk if it pulls back to 600 here. We'll give it a chance. Very big move, very strong move on the upside. Alphabet's helping. The NASDAQ still push. Silver started to rise back up. It's at 8250s here. Here's gold. Oracle bouncing back a little bit well as well. NASDAQ testing highs of the day again here. Look at the NQ. Testing highs. Where could you see a profit on a trade? I'm not sure what that means. It's too vague. SanDisk still ripping higher here. Look at SNDK right now. 620s. Get Netflix up here. Take a little bit of profit off. All right, look at this pop. 25,700s here on the NASDAQ. Just flying higher. SNDK broke highs. Bitcoin over 78.5s. Gold and silver have been rebounding back up this morning. Is this the comeback here, guys? I'll buy 650 if we get a pullback to it, but I need 650. There's 700 right here, so maybe this will act as like a bounce level, but I'd rather 650s. Put it in sub only mode here, guys. Yeah, Oracle flying back higher here. Netflix flying back higher. SanDisk flying back higher here. Look at SNDK. Netflix. That's $85. Gold. Yeah, huge, kind of a gap fill is what this is. Bitcoin back up to 78.5. So let's see if we get. I think obviously 80K is the level here that you probably want to pay attention to for Bitcoin. I think a lot of people are watching 80K. 80K is probably that level. All right, here's 700s. Let's see if this bounces. I'd like 650s. I'd rather 650s. We're very green on the day already, so it doesn't matter. Again, gold, silver, crypto rebounding back at the opening bounce today. Let's see if the Nasdaq pulls back to 650s. All right, guys, gold's still popping higher. Silver popping higher here, too. See, we get 650s. Remember, we have regular manufacturing PMI at 945. We have regular manufacturing PMI 945. Netflix up to almost $85 a share. Alphabet actually just went red on the day. SanDisk up to 640s right now. Yeah, that gap fill worked. And if we look at Nvidia here, Nvidia is kind of muted. And Nvidia shares are down after the Wall Street Journal flags doubts over the company's $100 billion AI deal. Bitcoin back up to almost 79,000. All right, guys, in 4 minutes, we do have manufacturing PMI data. It's not the big manufacturing PMI data like ISM manufacturing PMI, but it's something. It's for January. It's expected at 51.9. 51.9. ISM manufacturing data at 10 a.m. is the big story, though. That's what we probably want to look for in about 20 minutes. Oracle's green on the day. It pulled back a little bit from 175, though. It had a crazy move up there. Let's see if we slow down here and we pull back some. I'm looking for a dip now. AMD's pushing. AMD has earnings this week. So AMD is up a lot. Look at AMD here. AMD up to 244. Feel like new money. Now let's see. Is it time to buy the dip, or are you guys nervous about buying the dip? Let me know in chat right now. 82K is where the shorted. Crap on Bitcoin. We pushed up a lot this morning at the opening bell for other assets. What Bitcoin does here, I'm not sure. It's up to 78.5s. So it has had a Bitcoin has had a bounce back today. Nasdaq's testing highs of the day, which is right around 720s. It just broke highs of the day. The little micro pullbacks have been holding here. And here's gold. Gold up to almost $4,800 an ounce. Nervous. Holding cash, very nervous. Looks like a bull trap, patiently waiting. Big trap on Bitcoin. Situation with Iran still not resolved. Yeah, you can look at oil to see that stuff. Oil's down on the day for sure. It's at $62 a barrel. I think there's more stability there on maybe talks going on between the two. But it's still not set in stone for sure. Again, Netflix just broke 85. Disney did not react well at the open. I feel like the Nasdaq has more steam left, not quite shorting it. Yeah, a lot of nervous comments. A lot of nervous comments right now. Capital at 74s. Yeah, guys, listen, we got a minute and a half. A minute and a half. And we're at 47.80s here, 47.80s. Bitcoin looks trappy. I'm watching 79 and 80,000. I think psychologically those are the levels to watch. Nasdaq still pushing up here. Let's watch 750 above us. Let's see if we can break that. Again, in 1 minute we have manufacturing PMI. It's not the big ISM release, but it's something here. Yeah, let's see. All right, so U.S. envoy Witkoff will travel to Abu Dhabi for talks with Russia and Ukraine Wednesday and Thursday, according to a White House official. All right, guys, here we go. 40 seconds until regular manufacturing PMI. Again, this data that releases in 1 minute is expected at 51.9. It really drops to like 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Hit the live button. Put it in 2x speed. You'll catch up. Again, it's expected at 51.9. Previous was 51.9 for manufacturing PMI. This is for January. ISM data in 15 minutes is the larger release, though. But again, we have 10 seconds. Let's see what we get. And here's the release. Or we got about 12 seconds right now, actually. I'm a little bit early in my comments. Again, here we go. 51.9 is what's expected. We have 9 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the release right now. 52.4 versus 51.9 expected. 52.4 stronger than expected. Again, this is not a big release. The ISM one at 10 a.m. will be larger, but it did show up stronger than expected at 52.4 versus 51.9 expected. 52.4 versus 51.9 expected. So again, here's the release right here. We'll put it up on screen. That's the data release right there. Again, the big one is ISM data, 10 a.m. Get ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 o'clock. Silver's pulling back down to that $80 level here for silver. Trade silver. Micros. I do. We got 80 already on the dip. I missed it. I think I'm a little bit too late to buy silver right here. Look how flat the market is here. Again, 52.4 versus 51.9. Didn't really move markets at all, though. Oh, dude, I should have bought this silver. $80 dip. Gold went right down to where? The 200 exponential. Wow. Look at this. Here's this 80 level. All right, all right. Warner Bros. Shareholders vote on Netflix deal to be likely held in March, according to CNBC. All right. Got my ISM manufacturing PMI in about 12 minutes. Put that up on the timer. All right, so NASDAQ just cracked highs again. Alphabet back up. All right, so we're still struggling to really do anything right now in the NASDAQ here. We have 11 or 12 minutes left until this data release. Yeah. Again, I'm green all the day. I haven't had any red trades today at all. No red trades, no losing trades in futures, at least. My stock portfolio is green as well. Yeah, a lot of people talking about oil correcting down. Yeah, oil's gapping down. It's not really moving much since the last 4 or 5 hours, though. Again, Oracle had a big rebound this morning. Went up to 175. Back down to 166. Netflix is pretty green since the opening bell. Nvidia, after the OpenAI worries, is back down under 190s here for Nvidia. Again, we have AMD up to 245s. Palantir at over 150s ahead of the earnings today for Palantir. Apple had a big rebound. It's at 262s, helping drive the NASDAQ higher here. And the NASDAQ up to 740 right now. 740 just tapped highs of the day again. Didn't really do much with it yet, but silver back down to that $80 level that I wanted to buy earlier. But how many times are we going to test this? Yeah, easing tensions. Middle East is what helped it for sure, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are mad about Robinhood falling down here. Robinhood has had some crazy runs, though, man. Robinhood, I remember Robinhood when it was $12 a share, you know, back in 2024. It hit 150s earlier last year. You know, it's back down to 90s right now for Robinhood. So, again, we'll see. But Robinhood's had a crazy run. A crazy run. There's 750s on the NASDAQ. Silver now under $80 an ounce here. Gold falling down to 47.50s an ounce in gold futures. Yeah, luckily I took a lot of my profit off at like 175 or wherever for Oracle. I can't remember exactly where, but I took some of my size off if you guys heard me earlier. Yeah, Robinhood. Brutal drop though for Robinhood thing. $90 a share. Is it time to buy it right here? That was the question. Time to buy Robinhood. What's their PE ratio right now for Robinhood? Like 43. 43 PE. This is at a price of what? I have to look at what it is now at 90. Let me calculate this really quick. Again, we got 9 minutes until 9 minutes until manufacturing PMI. NASDAQ is still up substantially here. Okay. Here's Hood. Robinhood. Calculate it at this $90 a share price point. All right, so last one was 61 cents plus 42 cents plus 37 cents plus 54 cents. All right, 194. 194.90 divided by, we'll call it 90. $46 PE ratio, even at this current price of Robinhood. So, still not, like, it's still not good, even at this current price. The PE ratio is still high. PMI is the Purchasing Managers Index. It is, this one specifically is for manufacturing. So over 50 means an expansion in the manufacturing sector in the period of time. This one's for January. Below 50 means a contraction in the manufacturing sector. So it's strength or weakness in manufacturing is what this is. Today, tomorrow, I believe we have services. Yeah, so we're at 90.6 here for Hood. Okay, gold and silver still dipping here ahead of the this report. $80 what we're looking at for silver. 80. Is it or buy or sell? Is it buy or sell time in markets, guys? Buy or sell? Let me know. Robinhood has launched this. Robinhood has announced the launch of its stock and shares. UK customers marking a significant expansion in the UK market. I see buy easily, sell, hold, sell. BlackBerry is a buy. Is it? I don't know. Google, pretty green on the day. Sell, hold, hold. Yeah. Hold. I see a lot of holds. Buy, buy. Yeah, we'll see. Again, gold and silver are volatile, man. They're just volatile today. We'll see what happens to the rest of the day, but. Okay, so UK sanctions Iran Interior Minister and others. Silver right at $80 though. Again, gold 27.50s. SanDisk, a big winner today, 625s. Bouncing back from 570s. Previous close. The memory provider SanDisk, 625s today after 500 something. Big percentage move. Panic. BlackBerry. Great movie. If you ever watch the movie about BlackBerry, it's a good movie. Got the dude from It's Always Sunny in it. In a serious role for once. Again, Alphabet's still rising here right now. They have earnings this week. They're up to 340s right now. Silver under $80 an ounce. 79 an ounce for silver. Silver and gold. Flushing down a little bit, coming back down. Silver and gold are now falling down. Again, we got ISM manufacturing PMI at 10. I don't know how much this is going to move markets. I really don't. All right, we're at 4,700s for gold and silver. The dollar index up today. 97. Still green on the day. Yields were, I believe, like kind of flat. Yields are green on the day. So higher interest rate sentiment maybe potentially harsh. Yields are a little higher today. All right, look at Alphabet though, guys. Alphabet. 340s right now. Again, Bitcoin's struggling to hold. Testing 78,000 just underneath it now. Alphabet flying up. Silver, gold pulling back. NASDAQ kind of flat. Kathy Wood says Elon Musk sees China outpacing the U.S. by linking AI, robotics, batteries, and more. U.S. companies remain silenced by sector. Sold by Oracle pre-market. I sold a lot of mine too. I'm still holding a piece of it. But I sold a lot of it. At 175, I couldn't help but sell. I mean, you know, it was at 150s. I was honestly underwater in some of my Oracle positions. Pushed up to 175. I'm like, all right, it's time. You know. Silver's still falling down at $78 here. Let's see what happens. ISM manufacturing PMI in about an hour, 2.5 minutes. Yeah, we got Palantir earnings call after the close. See what that looks like. All right, NASDAQ starting to come back down too with silver and gold. Gold falling down to 47s. I'm proud of myself. I almost bought this $80 level pullback on silver right here, but we had already tested it too many times, and at a certain point, you know, eventually it's not gonna work. So I refrained from buying, and it looks like that was the right move short term. All right, guys, here we go. Less than 2 minutes. We got about a minute and a half left. Yeah, SNDK, crazy moves. 620s. We'll see if it holds, but SNDK, wild percentage moves overall. Yeah, Bitcoin back under 78K. Gold, 47.40s. NASDAQ coming down here. We got about a minute left here, Chad. A minute left before this release comes out. And again, I don't know if it's going to move markets either. It's bigger than the regular it's bigger than the regular manufacturing PMI data, though. Again, it's expected today. Again, this is expected today at 48.5. 48.5. Last time was 47.9, so it's expected to increase slightly, but still contracting manufacturing. ISM manufacturing PMI for January, 48.5 is what's expected. We'll see what we show. 48.5 is what's expected. And it drops in about 40 seconds, less than that actually. So. All right, about 20 seconds, 25 seconds. Here we go, it's time. We're very green on the day. We haven't had any losing trades, but it's also been kind of hard to make money in all this. All right, 10 seconds, guys, about 10 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button, put it in 2x speed. About 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the release right now. 52.6, way stronger than expected. 52.6 versus 48.5 expected. 48.5 expected, 52.6 for January ISM manufacturing PMI data. Way stronger than expected, actually. Again, 52.6 versus previous 47.9. Way stronger than expected. We got a little volatility from this, but it's not huge. But again, here's the data release right there. Again, 52.6 versus expected 48.5. Stronger manufacturing than expected here. We got a little tailwind from this, a little doji action. Let's see if the market continues to move here. Again, silver still falling to 78s. Bitcoin now under, maybe potentially less easing. Bitcoin down to 77.6s now, 77.5, 77.6s. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how much this is going to affect markets. I really don't. Again, this is all, it varies. It can vary by a lot. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't really move much. We'll see. We're supposed to have Jolt's job openings tomorrow. I don't know if we get it. Yeah, I really don't know if we get the Jolt's job opening tomorrow. All right, guys. So again, it's been an interesting day. Tomorrow we should have the government resuming here. Again, I don't know when the government's going to resume. It should resume. I don't think they're going to vote today. But yeah, it's the highest ISM since 2023, apparently. Yeah, the government's currently technically shut down right now. But look at the NASDAQ rebound here. NASDAQ up to 780s right now. So NASDAQ fighting back here. And again, we'll see if we hold now moving forward. Yeah, government's technically shut down right now. Technically. Yeah, that's true. Technically, we'll see if we hold. Again, we're supposed to have jolts tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to. But we're supposed to have jolts. Again, government shutdown technically, and jolts is released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So I don't know if we're gonna get the jolts report tomorrow. I really don't. If the government resumes, maybe, we'll see. Yeah, a little baby shutdown probably. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'll cut out of here, guys. It's past 10 o'clock. I'm gonna get out of here. Love to all of you guys. I appreciate the love. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see what gold and silver markets do tomorrow. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much for joining the channel. And yeah, I get out of here. Later, chat.